We are, in fact, being recorded. How cool is that? Yep, here we are, another Monday. I meant to find a couple of new gifts for that. They're pretty cool. Hey, lots of information tonight. So welcome, everybody, to those of you that are live here on the call and to those of you that are listening on the YouTube channel or in the Telegram channel, etc. We have some great information tonight, and I've spent quite a bit of time going through the whole process to make sure that we actually have an understanding of what's going on with the Tupan project, and it's substantial. They released a heap more information in the last week or so. So here we are, 26th of September 2022. All the information on the latest trends and directions from our gold and crypto business. And those of you that know where we've been the last few years will know that we have been on a many-vectored journey. But boy, is it good to be in something that you can plan with and see what's happening and know it's transparent. Really, really liking it. Everyone goes forward together is our tagline, and we mean it. I know we've had all sorts of stuff happening in the last couple of months, but we are seeming to catch up with everybody and make sure that they can get on the calls when they need to. But boy, we have got some news coming to you tonight. Remember, we are expressing our view as affiliates only. We do not represent any of the companies we affiliate with, and we're not giving anybody financial advice. We hope that you might learn something from what we talk about tonight and that you might take advantage of it if it's in your interest to do so. I have taken advantage of all of it. I don't like to talk about stuff that's a maybe or could be. I want to actually do it, see it, smell it, feel it, chew it, all that stuff. Okay. One of the clever little things that's occurred recently is the advent of smart contracts on blockchain. And that's been a great way to build a hands-off business, because if you can describe it well enough to write a smart chain contract, you can all of a sudden just let go of it and it will happen by itself. The problem with that is that there are potentially considerable fees to be added to that. However, let's just have a look at something that came out of the recent function. So the guy that's doing this presentation, he is one of the original Ethereum developers. So he's well and truly au fait and up to speed with what's happening in Ethereum and about the merge onto the new proof of stake concept instead of proof of work. And he's familiar with Binance. So what I found really interesting was today, to verify what his numbers were, I did some research on the new Ethereum that's come out that's on the proof of stake concept, like zeniq is, rather than proof of work like Bitcoin. So my understanding of that whole process was that it was designed to lower fees and speed up the blockchain. But every page I went to today said, don't expect the fees to go down. They will stay roughly where they are. It will speed things up a bit. So in this whole, I suppose, discussion about it, he pointed out, this dude that was doing the presentation, that Ethereum is still one of the most expensive blockchains in use. And when we look around, we can see that when you compare that to the zeniq smart chain, there's a transaction fee that they actually did, and it came down to 0.01058 of a cent, not a dollar, of a cent. So that's a pretty low fee. And the more they demonstrate this to show us how this smart chain and blockchain is working, the more excited I get, because the one thing that all of these tech heads love to know about is where are all the fees and how do you make it go faster? Well, currently we've got the smartest contract going with the lowest fees and the fastest speed. So I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of transactions on this blockchain. And on that note, if Tupan, which we're going to talk about tonight, had been built on the Ethereum system, it would consume 10% of the total power of the blockchain on that project alone. And so far, it's barely a blip on the zeniq system. The availability of just the bandwidth, the speed, the capacity, all that sort of thing, just leads us down the road of finally we're onto something that makes sense and that we can work out. So it's really good that he explained this, and I had heard via the grapevine that Tupan on Ethereum would consume 10% of their capacity, but I couldn't find it when I went to talk about it the other day. But that's a pretty bold statement when you think about it. Okay. There's been some additions to the comp plan, which won't affect many people, but it's worth noting that it's a bonus that they've added in. They've split up one of the pools and then added in some additional bonuses. So when you look at it, this is a comparison for a black sapphire, which we don't actually have any of them in Australia yet, but we've got a couple of people that aren't too far away. What this is telling me, this slide, is that by next month, because it comes out in October, and you'll notice that this was prepared by a German or an Austrian because it's OKT, O-B-E-R, October. As of next month, if you were black sapphire, your monthly income would be 6,880 euros. Now, remember, this is an estimate, and we're basing that on 1 star being 7 euros. And that's stupidly low, because last month I think it was 25. So that's a pretty good kicker to have in there as just another way to have a residual income. So that's your monthly revenue from those sales, about 7,000 euros. Again, but that's based on 7 euros, not 25 like it was last month. So let's hope that we can get a few people at this level, because once you start to get into those sort of residual incomes, it's pretty nice. In fact, it's really nice. So now we have a new token in the system, the Safir token, and it's 1 euro cent. Now, why would they do that? Well, it's really simple. It's a way that you can have a stable number in your system because it's tied to the euro. And you can swap it between euros, Bitcoin, all the other crypto as you choose, but you will be getting paid as you earn a bonus. Some of that will come in this Safir token, which is 1 euro cent each. And they look like they've got this worked out. Now, the side effect of that, if you look at the activation date, that's next month, the side effect is this is a token, again, built on the zeniq coin. Now, if you've been on these calls before, you'll have a bit of an understanding that the zeniq system is deflationary. So whatever you're doing in the exchanges, whatever you're doing in paying with coins or tokens, everything that you do in this system burns tokens. So the number of tokens is actually going down, not up. So that will mean that at some point, these coins and tokens are going to start to increase in value substantially. So when you think about it, it is one of the good side effects that every transaction they do with this token will burn zeniq coins. And how they do that is on the smart contract, every transaction, there is a small fee to run the contract. And the profits from that fee, about 50% of whatever's collected, goes into buying coins on the open market and destroying them. So they literally are removing them from the marketplace. And it's interesting to see the numbers. I spent some time today talking through with a guy in Europe, the pros and cons of that. And the upside of it is when you compare what we've done in zeniq with, let's say, for example, Ethereum, the Ethereum coin was worth 3 parts of nothing for quite a while, which our coins are. They're worth, I don't know, they're about 10 or 11, 12 cents at the moment. But there was no system in the Ethereum world that reduced the number of coins. So the only way to impact the market price was to get somebody to pay more money. This is another avenue where you're reducing the number of coins, thereby making them scarcer, thereby if you have to have these coins to run a project, all of a sudden there's a shortage. So we hope that this has a really positive impact, because when we compared these two coins, the Ethereum and the zeniq coin, over similar timelines, in 12 to 24 months, the zeniq coin should be anywhere up around a few $100s, because they're being reduced in number and they're being used more and more. So it's really interesting to see where this will go. I'm not sure how long it will take for this coin to be at a serious price. I'm thinking it won't be too long. I've got a fair idea of what I think it'll be worth by the end of this year, because in December, at the main function in Dubai, is really the switch on date of the two projects that are currently on the blockchain, Tupan and Avanok. Our coins will be built on this as soon as possible. Hope to get it out in the first quarter of next year. And that's going to benefit all of us on the call, separate to everything that's going on with our zeniq coins. So it's really been an interesting process, because this has the hallmarks of being able to be sustainable for a long time. Reason being, every other cryptocurrency I've ever seen come to market is they had an idea and they created a coin, then they went out and tried to build a use model for it. These guys have done it the other way around. They built a use model, then created the coin to take advantage of that use model. And it really puts everything on its ear, because now all of a sudden we have a coin that all of the 400 projects that are coming onto the blockchain now, all of them will burn coins. So it's really interesting to see what the process will be going forward and how rapidly that will impact the price of the coins. I hope it's really quick, because I'd like to see some of you making some serious money out of it. It's interesting to see how the Tupan coins in comparison to zeniq have gone, because we got involved with that here in Australia right at the start, not a year and a half down the road. So those of us that bought minting hubs early had 110% minting factor. So just think when those coins, where you're getting 100 coins a day in the early days, what if they get to $100 a coin next year? What if it's 200? It's really an interesting roadmap to look at it. So there's some changes coming to the zeniq wallet. Very good changes. There's a screenshot of what it might look like. The app will update in the next few weeks. It's really gone through an evolution. I know they did some updates just a few weeks ago that fixed a couple of minor bugs that were in the system, but it's really come to a new level. When you think about it, if you look at the screenshot that's on the left, it's got send, receive, transfer, swap. So the zeniq swap trading platform is built into the app we have on our phone. So if you look at the process that you go through, you can pretty much do everything you want on your phone, because one of the screens is your MasterCard. And boy, isn't that going to be cool when we've got direct access to all of our cryptocurrency. You don't have to sell it, wait for someone to do a transfer, wait for it to show up in your bank account before you can spend it. This is all in one place. And that, I think, is rather unique. And you'll see over here on the right, they've got an entire system built into it to create NFTs. And boy, it's my opinion of NFTs in the early days was extremely poor, because people were buying non-fungible tokens in a cardboard poster with a picture of a car on it. It was insane. But what the heck? Technically, we will have non-fungible tokens backed by physical assets. And that is a new thing, a new deal for everybody. You're correct, Martin. I cannot wait for this to actually come through. And boy, it'll be very cool when we see it actually coming to fruition, because I know the guys in Europe have been playing with this wallet for a while, and they've had several renditions of the trial, but it's just not worked out to have come forward in the month that we expected it, but it was because they decided to add in some other functionality. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing it and seeing where we can go with it. So the big thing for me is that you can store all your assets in there. It will link directly to zeniq swap, and later directly to your hub and or the zeniq trading platform. So the full-fledged version of the exchange. And boy, when you see the numbers, when you start to look at Pancake Swap and some of these other quick swap programs, they do ridiculous volumes of turnover. And the good thing for us, again, every transaction burns coins. Every transaction makes our coins worth more money. It's a really good model. Okay. ZenCon, dear old ZenCon. It happened in Mexico, and I have to say I was not enamored of the project when they first announced it, because I've not been involved in the gaming end of the world before. I'm flat out using the calculator on my phone, let alone trying to play games on it. So the outcome from ZenCon, which was a conference put on by zeniq, ZenCon, and they actually paid the expenses of the top 200 games programmers to come from around the world to this conference. And while they were there, showed them how to develop on the zeniq smart chain, program, what the speed would be, how to work together collectively, all of those things. And the upshot of that was an enormous increase in the amount of transactions on our blockchain. And ultimately, the more use on the blockchain, the more our coins are going to be worth. And boy, it's been just so nice to see that they've actually done that through every aspect of their system. Every single aspect reduces the number of coins on the blockchain. So it's really interesting to see how this is all going to work. I don't exactly know what's going to happen, but boy, this ZenCon thing could be quite large. And they're about to announce the next one, and it will be somewhere in a major city, they're saying this time. I have no idea where that actually is, but we will see what we can get to. And maybe, just might be in Brisbane. Never know. Okay, I'm making that up. It might not be in Brisbane. Be fun if it was, though. Now let's get into some Tupan developments. And I have to say, I am so very, very proud to be part of this project. When I first heard about it, I couldn't wait to get information because I wanted to buy some of these tokens. And I've now got a couple of thousand tokens on my desktop because I'm minting them for free. But the good part of it is what the impact on the environment is going to be. And I'm not casting aspersions on climate change or anything like that. I just know that places I used to go to in my youth that were in the middle of the bush are now in plain open country, and it's hot and dry. There is nothing more than being able to make an impact. And let's get on to this next slide. Last week, so we're not talking about years ago or whatever, last week, Tupan purchased 15,000 hectares of Amazon rainforest and degraded land. So that's the first purchase that I'm aware of since they came out with the Tupan token on the zeniq blockchain. Now, this was all running before zeniq came along, but it made a big difference. That land, that 15,000 hectares, will return 170 million over the next 10 years approximately from carbon credits. That's amazing. I don't know what they pay for it. I've got no idea, but I guarantee you it's nothing like 170 million. And they'll still own the land. It's just that's what comes from the carbon credits. The plan, apparently, according to the dude I listened to over the weekend, is to purchase 369,000 hectares in the next few years, using the model we are a part of. Now, remember, the only place people can get Tupan tokens from is from us. We mint them. It's a pretty good deal. I don't know how else we could come up to it. But the plan with the 369,000 hectares, they say, is about 1.7 billion with a B follow-on value from that, from the carbon credits. Now, this model, the carbon credits model, has been around for a while, and Tupan has actually been in existence for a while. And they set out down the road of using all of the systems available, Securities and Exchange Commission, the United Nations mandates, and now you've got a giant package from the US government, a big chunk. I'm going to think it'll be 3/4 of it will be spent on climate change correction, and that's what this Tupan token gives us. If they're returning all this land back to its native state, that is a massive carbon sink. Massive. And they'll get well paid for that. So let's look at how that actually ought to work. So you can see that the CO2 certificate market really is enormous. It was valued at $211 billion in 2019. That's over 2 years ago. $211 billion. And they expect it to reach $2,400 billion by 27. That's 5 years away. That is staggering growth. Staggering. And the reason it's going to be like that is you can see on the left, they start to talk about net zero. And if you drive a car that burns petrol, the only way you can be net zero is to plant trees. The only way. Or something like hemp, or a crop that would grow a lot of carbon stuff that you can put back into the soil. So if you look at this and have an understanding of the market size, it is staggering, absolutely staggering, that there is no way around this, because you can buy trees and go and plant them. But if you're running a business, the last thing you want to be doing is having a department that buys trees and plants them, because then you've got to buy the ground to plant them in. This way, you buy tokens in your wallet on your phone. Done. That's it. All over. So let's have a look how that happens. So the mechanics of it is we actually mint the tokens. And the bank then looks at the number of tokens that are out there and says, yep, righto, we'll give you this much money to buy land to work on. That's how they do it. Now, by buying the land and revegetating it, they get CO2 certificates, which they can then sell and put the money back into the fund. That's an amazing circuit that works. And the profits that they get from that are used to buy Tupan tokens on the open market, and they burn them. Now, why would they do that? Well, that means that any tokens that are in the system, all of a sudden, there's less of them. The price is going to go up. So it's really something that works well in principle. Initially, when I heard about how they were doing it, I thought, righto, how do we know that they can make this work? And then I started to do my own research. This guy is the founder of Tupan. He's already founded 5 SEC-regulated funds in this space that are operational today. So we know he can do that end of it. What he didn't have access to was the blockchain system that we have. You can see down the bottom left of the red lines there, there's a SEC license there. So there's been a big bun fight going on in the world about XRP and how it's going to be the greatest thing in the world and it's going to revolutionise banking, and then nope, the SEC is suing them. Now, I do think it's a stupid case, given that that cryptocurrency was built with SEC input. However, this has all been approved, has a license, that it's completely compliant with all the regulations. I can't see a problem coming out of that. Mind you, I'm not there and in the middle of it. But it's great to know that this guy has done this 4 or 5 times before to create funds that collected money, they're SEC regulated, and that money is used to basically get involved in climate change and everything that they're doing in Brazil. Now, if you have a look over on the left, you've got Forest AU Green LLC. So that entity actually controls everything that's going on in Tupan, and they have 69 patents, I believe, around medicine, agricultural productivity, cosmetics, surveillance, all sorts of things. And it's all come from their involvement in the Amazon. So all of that we will benefit from in some way, shape or form. So it's interesting to see the depth and the breadth of what they've actually put together and how it's all coming together. How do we know they can do it? This was already working before the zeniq option arrived. That part of the system was up and running. All zeniq has done is make it faster and cheaper to run. And that's got to be a good thing. Anytime you can lower your overhead in a business, that's a good thing. So at the moment, you can buy a zeniq hub as a physical device, a digital device, and then you can add on a Tupan minting solution. So you don't have to have the first two to do the third one. Any one of the first two will allow you to add on a hub. That's a very cool thing. So here's what it looks like in the website. That's a minting add-on for an existing zeniq hub. That's a share. So if you have a €100 share of a zeniq hub, you can buy a €100 share of a Tupan hub. And boy, you're really going to like what those shares do because we're getting in early. Or you can buy a minting node all on its own for $12.98. That means you don't have a zeniq hub with it. It will fully function. That will be digital. It will stay in-house like the minting shares. So they have a great way for you to get involved with Tupan. So the shares, you can see €100 gets you 1/32 of a license, 135 for a 16th, etc. $12.98 gets you the standalone system, and it's monitored. All that stuff works. You don't have to do anything with it. It's already in the system. And the launch price of those tokens is 3.69 US cents. Now I'm looking at the numbers coming out of my Tupan license on my zeniq hub. And that's going to give us somewhere around about 100% yield a year or more. That's without the price of the coin going up. That's just at 3.69 cents. Now, the reason they have that number is that's what they are worth when they do it the old way. So it's already an existing market familiar with that price, which is very cool. But at the moment, we have a double incentive. So if you buy a quarter Tupan minting share, they're going to throw in 1/32 of a zeniq hub for free. Half a minting share, you get a 16th of a zeniq hub for free. One Tupan full node, you get an 1/8 of a zeniq hub for free. And then you get up into their stupid numbers if you buy tens of thousands of them. I do know someone that bought 25 zeniq hubs the first day he saw the system. He just believed in it. He said he could see it working, see it happening. It was all going to work. So he just ran with it. And yes, he's making a stupid amount of money. So the Tupan minting shares are now showing in your account, and this incentive ends on the 15th of October. Now, unlike some of the companies we've been involved with over the years, when they say it ends on the 15th of October, it will end. It just won't be there in the system. So this is a display of somebody's website that has a €100 Tupan hub. And in the last 3 weeks, whatever it is, they've got 52 tokens. Now, that's not worth a whole lot of money at the moment. But remember, that's at 3.69 cents. They will go up. They might fluctuate a bit, but they're going to go up. Tokenisation Conference, this is the one that we're off to in November, and it's at the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Yeah, we'll just get to that in a second. The highest office in the world, Safir. It literally is the highest corporate office in the world, floor 147. And I can tell you that's up there. I'm trying to find out if they give out sick bags in the foyer before you get in the elevator, just so I'm prepared. 147 floors, and the office, the Safir office, takes up the entire floor. I have no idea how big that is because I haven't been there yet, but I will be going there to check it out in just a few weeks. So remember, there is the actual address if you need to send someone there with a box of roses for somebody. 1 Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Boulevard, downtown Dubai, Dubai. 147 is the floor number. Interesting. They're adding in a heap of new stuff into the Safir website in the coming weeks, one of which is merchandising, caps, hats, shirts, cups, all that stuff. It will launch in Europe first, and eventually they're telling me it will come out here. I suspect the freight to get a hat to Australia will be rather exorbitant. I might try and pick some up while I'm over there and bring some back. Okay, remember, zeniq is the blockchain, the engine room. Safir is the people system. Tupan and Avanok are the first 2 projects. And we have the security of the metal. It is interesting to see how people observe and talk about cryptocurrency, and they all want to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum because they were the first ones, but there's nothing behind them. Absolutely nothing. We're going to bring the security of metal to this system. Tupan minting is now displayed for full and partial hubs on your website. The number of minted tokens per user can differ also as it turns on. I looked at someone's dashboard today who bought their Tupan license the day after I did. I bought mine, and they have, no, the other way around. Their license was the day before mine, and I have more Tupan tokens. It will balance up. Just they tell me it's to do with the cycle of the hubs and what cycle each individual hub is on. So these differences will balance themselves out. The minting is on the dashboard now. You can see them in your website. This is what it looks like if you want to look up what you've done. There's the date and the time that the license was purchased. There's the smart contract address and the wallet. And the minting power when this one was purchased was 110%. And that's how many coins it had in there when the screenshot was taken. So December 3rd to the 6th, someone has a speech impediment when they type that. That's when the next big event is going on for everybody in the Safir zeniq system. and they're telling me that they're going to make a number of announcements there and turn on stuff there. So that'll be pretty cool. If you think you might be able to get there, let us know. We'll try and find a hotel ahead of time that doesn't cost $8,900 a night. It's a global, spectacular event. This is their once-a-year event. So the blockchain stats, that's live today. I took that. So the numbers are just going up. It's looking really good. A nice, smooth curve. It will take a bit, but it's really good to see. Is there anybody that still doubts what we're doing? What we are doing has become mainstream. Apparently we knew. Now, remember when we started this, we were looking for a wallet. We were designing a wallet. Boris offered me this zeniq wallet for free, which we've used, and I'd used it for free before we did anything else. But everything that they do is 100% aligned with where we were going with our metal. So hence, AU4U, zeniq are on the same roadmap. We have Australian metal, we have Singapore metal for the tokens, they've got Avanok, Tupan, zeniq, 400 other projects. What's going to link them together? Gold and silver tokens. And that's where our revenue is going to come from, ladies and gentlemen. That's where our revenue is going to come from. Yes, you'll make money out of the zeniq system and the Safir system, but this will be another level of income that will get this to happen for you, and I can't wait. Why is it important? Because we are tokenizing assets, and I can see this zeniq system absolutely changing the business world. Thoughts, prayers, and well wishes to everyone in the Ukraine. Look, it's been silly to watch what's happening over there and see what somebody's trying to do because they're annoyed. I really hope that comes to an end soon without too many more atrocities. How is our world going? Now, this is the bit I really look forward to. But today, when I went to screen capture a couple of thumbnails for YouTube podcasts to listen to, they were the first 5 thumbnails in the channel that I went to because I follow it. Massive gold and silver avalanche is coming. Massive price change going up 10 times. Crash coming. Buy gold and silver now. Shocking gold price outlook for 2022. Yep, going up. Gold and silver will 10 times. I had someone ask me the other day that our savings plan, it's $100 worth of metal. All we're trying to do is get people to spend money. No, we're trying to get people to save in an asset that will be worth something. The amount of the paltry amount of money that the company makes out of that $100 transaction is stupidly small. And if that's all was going on, we'd shut it down tomorrow. It's not viable because the margins are so small. But you tie it to everything else we're doing, now you've got a roadmap. And boy, do we have a roadmap. So I'm not going to put all the links to those videos in because they're all on the same channel. I will put in the name of the channel so you can go to it just in case you don't believe me and you want to listen to those guys. And the same thing happened here. Florian Heiser, right here in Brisbane, Vegas. First thumbnail says, housing's about to crash by 30%. Well, that's one point of view when he read the article, Reserve Bank or something's talking about this. Then there's a warning for homeowners. Interest rates are going up. How are you going to make your mortgage payments? Then the next one is housing demand to skyrocket by 300,000. Now, the problem with that he talks about is a whole bunch of our builders and developers have gone broke. They don't exist anymore. How are we going to build 300,000 houses? Here in Queensland, they're making granny flats legal to be rented because of the housing crisis. Nobody knows what's going on from one day to the next. It is beyond bizarre. I just don't understand how they can look at getting involved in regulations, and the government is going to mess that up because they do every time. But wow, do some research, people. It's bizarre. So what now? We're all in the right place to benefit from this economic mess because it's free to add a wallet. Coin minting starts at 100 euros and up. Stay focused on the package. Gold, silver, crypto on our blockchain. Why are we here? We're just a group of like-minded people. The world is changing and we need to pay attention, because if you don't, if you're going to be like some of those people that said you're just trying to get me to spend $100 a month, that's going to hurt soon, real soon. If you're adopting a qual, please go and have a look. There's the link. The link will be in the YouTube description. Give them a go, the poor little blighters. We haven't sponsored one in a few weeks, so we're probably due to do another one ourselves. The bottom line, everything we knew as normal 2 years ago has gone fishing. And I can guarantee you there's a hole in the boat. It ain't coming back. Everything we've ever talked about is coming true. And we are looking at the dawn of a new era. I don't have all the answers. I'm actually quite concerned about what I read and listen to. But everybody that I read and listen to is talking about hold metal, because that's going to save you. And we are creating a system that will let people hold metal on their phone. It is, it's staggering when you think about how that's all coming together. So that's it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Is there any questions around any of that I could answer? Could type really fast or see what's going on. Hands up. Nope. Don't see any questions. Okay. Exciting times, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting times. And we are standing on our surfboard waiting to catch the wave. Great to see everybody tonight. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the golden beaches of the world. Have a great night. There's 2 people going to Dubai at the moment, Cassie and I. Martin, have a great night, everybody.